ye be so nyame se na juma ya ba be ye no ye bibi ofese ya na on chain se ni betimi akoso na on kai se o man so nipa wa ha ye ne nipa enti ono a embrambo ayen enye juma enti na ni guso a ya sori ano fei ne wo ba din komo ni ahusenia o mai ye be manage no na sebe 4 years I ba be kan ho so etimi aye juma no
na 4 years ba be kan ho de
oh sana me kan
sana kai sana kai chese u are shirimu
onyameso
enra okromrache bedwem enkoma ade tudwa no megidi se esono bia ne senia ohu no ebidie ne se yes free electricity free water ebidie ne se sikasem edin na mo mehihye awakwam ebidie ne se sika ye de hwe covid abre ebidie ne se yibetimi esane se bebi ejina no edin na ona adin common ko tudwa se ye ka se bonopo ana se highlights na dia ni yamani bia wo be boso
you come that's it I think say ye de be share se no say you can say nsu asem no de ade demo bia enti 3 months e be de government have some a continue so betia electricity no enya dia ade 3 months bia ye be 1 billion cedis enti no
bosumi miense bia 1 billion
3 months bia so tia VR now tia ICG now tia the great core enti no yes a lifeline for no and from now not to December dear government say obesum enti no your lifeline users no
I 0 to 54
you enti one dear you besum but then soon dear obia
na mpacho enti no say ne bono be say obia ye
so no be 257 million
for the 3 months
for the 3 months and a life now no year about 116 million for every 3 months but no year they be cut to the end of the year into what they be 80 kan ho natural say oh you do for can say you do no but you know adia no senior president kai no so mind there say enipa wom ena your mind no enti adi yarboni abai ese say boy ho ban na se ye be free mu no na ye nipa no so tintim kakra won wo ho enti no na the first port of call say yen Ghanaian adishie dia ese say ye ne ese say ye obia betimi say be no na ye we say o hwe ade obeka se be ye 153 or so people na aka baby na really a dozen dodo we compare for Africa there obeka say abomodin but that's Ghanaians there ba Kokrokoo kompa enye bibi efese enti no necessary sum enti no na says a health the expenditures no near de no akosro but ye be sum enti enra no there electricity no lifeline and water no to the end of the year and I feel so he announced yen dache actually say 100 billion program no to completely transform and change this country. I expect to say government the bear 30 billion beba na private sector the 70 aba and that was really senior you be hu fa kwa yeko juma FSA ye actually president next term no near over emphasize in addition to flagship programs but normal you be here a year for the next 6 months no first you who say the online services and the data abe bibia obeka say it's almost to say water or electricity. Inti no ye share CST no and ye dey aba from 9% to 5%. Send a cost no beba form kakra. Na ye ne ade telco no so any ECG ba be ye partnership you betimi de fiber optics no akobe bia send ye be access to broadband ya de no will be a thing of the past, which means schooling ya de ye be online no you betimi aye all around the country. Internet near this CST no bar form realizing we are no assessor online ne ade Zoom ne ade na fe de nipa ye and afe ye call labor asem ene in a jume ni ho and na ye mpese nipa lay of workers enti ye the 2 billion guarantee facility banks no send ye be one loans na interest no beko form no is open to obia businesses especially those over 100 employees no send ye be they can retain their workers because they have cheaper facilities and the covered so there Barbara no be expecting and now who say over the years unemployment you need insurance into any labor organizations here arrange to design the first unemployment insurance scheme over year maimu into no so and I ever shall see if you also it's a layoffs ne online services in Adiabano into the 100 million labor Ministry of Employment now on start for instance retraining and skills development send a everything transition then also your faith-based organizations and also by juma won't say yes start to food distribution first time buying any faith-based organization assigning MOU in partnership into one boapa the bear 470,000 dry packages into one trainee young entrepreneurs into one so anyone be juma be and now okay say you start a cab bus program with 600 million cedis and then was meant for small and micro workers
and NBSSI for
NBSSI Jumano into your day 150 million akoka ho ama send your be creative arts industry any mo juma for media any conference of independent universities want to be to me access now why you juma but really at the cab bus MBSSI program no there I think it goes to the heart of the matter. If there's a lot of people in the informal economy won't hear 2,000 or 1,000 cities into a honor a lot of emphasis war so far no what me I 60,000 people all across the country into a kuye necessary you continue into me papa.
Mr. Minister, say, you share in common running your canopy, your caricature to cry say, a quay into Nisse, ye paba. Minika Misa say, you share in near many be our car income for laid off workers. 100 billion, and no, buying the 30% beba, more has a private sector, the 70% of sales canon, beba. Communication service tax ya teso from 9 to 5. COVID abre mu ya ka say sika eba futuo num no enoso. Ana say ma se ne tie no. Enti kwan be so ne be fa ye benye sika dia ye niam amuka nyina. A sika yi mu ebi ma. Na kakra na eba no so ye sante so. Ye ko fiscal no way.
Ade kwame Okay, say your friend saying in 2017.
Yes.
And now say even before elections year your car say yeah senior high school assembly. You now for never across no say it's impossible. Nampamo now only me because a car you wish you know. And I am a program. And then no man necessary a reassess tiano. Now it was overwhelming, and now only me saying to me. But you buy a non with president, no vice president, the economic management team. Your transition what are our priorities? And Nahina say Ubo Maya, any panoni here. Into then necessary. And it's a what she shows a year. It's me year a call very far. And a 7 so na yenum being so any abrofuya ya jumada wa Wall Street near day. Into what in our bomwa the honor overcast yetimi na ade afi krempa ye kan. Fortunately for us, new leadership what GR no. Into domestic taxes we are actually ahead by 600 million. Customs there. So no say asem ho as a see can. Into a combination say in Sikano, you better see na protecting the public purse. Na yan so yan ingenuity to do it, but you know you can't give up. And now when you say inventions and so there, it just do not happen. But once you keep at it and continue at it with dedication and commitment, and something will happen. Sani ameka you know, onyamenso so ye, onyamenso there. Say mofra ni widows ni won ni bibia no wo hwe won so a obebu kwan man nti hu yen leap program any children's feeding no keka ho a when you say ya double nipa ye hwe won so no nti mini wo hwe senior East Asians ni ade so want me build on economy na once one started baby a ojun se sika ni ho na sika wo man mu into digitalization any unemployment benefits and the day you know gradually no will be a formalized no be a tiane de kakra you beti manya sika na senior leadership presidents who are sure during this COVID time and so because you ham kakra you know your friends saying development partners near the into you go so if you more your friends are fee onyame boaye na February yetimi konya yen 3 billion free euro bond asem no and a market no close here but between then and now no yetimi raise by 20 billion enti adwempa ene adwuma ye no yebenya sika na ba na nia yebe use no and say you use no year yen say no
20 billion you're raising internally and as if you're manone never
20 billion you raising so far $4 billion equivalent you 3 billion euro bond you 1 billion IMF facility it make no and a balance no every accruing
sir 20 billion and which back to my question about say revenue targets and yadia you emit your revenue targets it's any baby ano but often I can say shortfall bebem it is a grand idea see who sika sem no e bosia bi ne be akobo na dachi etua na say den
kwame no dey be a combination so who I mean yenya revenue shortfalls since we came and so the arrears ya now for no jama ya no 11 billion wa ya validate by 6 no ya mu 5 etimi ya address contractors ni adi nyina nya wonsika na in addition to that and so na mampanyin na kufuado so what flagship programs na no se say ye free SHS ne NAPCO ne hon keka ho and also yetimi fife sika free ha ene the loans yetimi anya because in the end no human capital and the productivity no beba enti se wantimi anya no ntemu na any consistently no o kona wako bisani pasa mama sika enti say investment no there SSC NCC enti 100 billion no there enye bibi SSC esro because in 30 billion no if free on man there as we get more efficient you betimi etia na senior creditors and so no wahwe na man okuya and a juma wafa yofi grant here wo Ghana Investment Promotion Center and also no upon your befe na your day say 70 billion no so aba if so senior omanpania run the economy Africa there obi fife say ode ni sika beba oman yi mu you just say Ghana na wode beba
then now be am private sector in TL free say motivation enough and stimulus enough a bit me aka say 70 billion no you be nya private sector
okay the combination no your friends saying CK free amana neba ene ni ayanso you betimi aye na who when you say you buy you the buy 20 billion and a good financial sector restructuring into share banks no say they are much stronger than NT you started March I see and you be among 3 billion facility in my and send you be banks no last report on the buy no once you about 7.8 billion and I want their good sustain no much between loans restructuring facilities standstill agreements etc into they are getting a lot stronger to be able to support private sector into we no any a day 2 billion guarantee program no aba send a beya and also no a bema loans no rates no interest rates no akofom na to facilitate that because share asemo aba no as so be a start say or reimagine the new business by your person if a jaya 1 year jumanti at least facility no now one start charging either CapEx and now working capital near start organizational capacity of our system to go. Now, for example, at the health at the year president, like I said, UNC 111 district hospitals and regional centers, disease control centers. Near what can also say all the construction, a very local. Constructors
88 district hospitals.
I could do 111.
So say 88 111.
No, I mean Kwame, you be we afeno. Now we really strong Ghanaian construction companies. A honor na first year move towards a national housing scheme. So right now about 2 million houses are needed. Now as people continue to work, you generate demand, you put more funds into the economy, and then you get, a much more robust system. And you're banking on. And I would say, at the African Free Trade Continental Agreement in Ghana and headquarters into the whole idea of Ghana becoming a regional hub, Nipa Bebaha, no trade with the continent, and also rural land, the Nasayan Yebue. VW assembly and between VW and Kantanka next sino track near Denso we begin to see productivity and production and so but until Osha 3 years here by first of all the people are important and the people being important how do you make sure so Bia gets a sense of overcome from social mobility into education, for the ordinary people, light and water, ordinary people, LEAP program, ordinary people, just to make sure that we have a balanced society. Your human capital has a capacity, to be all they can be. Into if you hope and so I juma one so your co-marketer or my sika na partnerships in Suba.
But Minister, says can you come market here, Kojino? Ebi ana moka no fefefe se ya eye. But nipa bebre so adwen kire ne se sabe enye sika da hokwa eye bosia. Ye bobo bosia na daachi ni tua na ba be yedin. We also must say.
I mean, Kwame, say okay. Say me name na for free broche by 1990. And a couple of besia $25,000. It's what. And yes, here by a bank. 30 years later, bank yi atre. Just your insurance company ade. Into now this kind of a any here. Into 30 years later, 1990 to now, no. After several data bank, I started work Cantamanto. When you start here, young answer. And I call Bobusia. Into Busiana dear, and yes, sir, and so Bobusia. Now the bay, now Bobusia, now the share with Nipemu, now on your skills for the future. Me say anything could be better than that. Because I strongly believe in the genius of the Ghanaian entrepreneur. In TSSA, you build the confidence, you know, for people to be able to do what they have to do. And that's also normal. As a DA, FDR, Roosevelt Kanye, you know, fear is the one that will really cripple you. Now, for war 2017, now for bedu and Kenya COVID. Now COVID you create. And take this as an opportunity, they move forward. But we can't be afraid, say, a normal sono near Johnny Africo. And no one Israelis, one call spicy call, spy at the Canaan buyer once a when the workers say a grasshopper so. And I Joshua and the Caleb said, they'll be evicting me. In Tiahona, you're evicting me.
Yeah, banking sector crisis, Oboso. Eka interventions somewhere in the Amodia, the Abua banks, the Abua, or more customers to true. Me assure say what it is, I went from him and say, I say, Bua Payo. Maybe so as me bear a fear tremble, I was asked to the but yes, as I page say a Bua Payo. A bew or they could have been saved. A bew or while Senka Mutimi a Buamu. Your hemo payment system send you see between can scan massa or for that banking sector crisis a few years down the line would you this still no adwen pa mo de ye no e fine ubitimi subo se ne kwan so ano no
Kwame ade your friend saying say bibia o you know betimi aye ni years and senia oh yeah. But really, honestly, dear, no apologies. I dare beto ye no. Not that Bank of Ghana and the Ministry of Finance said the asset quality review was so clear. The banks in Babigu. Now who was going to bail the cat? And I want to show I just that one hope for about 1.5 years. And you buy no now come share and say we will call war. You know, a few soldiers will go to die for the 30 million people. And by all means, there will be some sacrifice, and then there will be some burden sharing. Now, we have 4.6 million depositors whose money have been saved. Now, failure, you know, a few, maybe more than wealthy people, you know, are inciting certain things. I don't know. I mean, that's the cost of leadership. You know, how do you save the community over one or two individuals? It's a hard call. It's a hard call. Inti nipa be nipa be can be nipa won nim krempo be can be atwayen. But really, actually, 4.6 million people saved. They are depositors. And a car. The government and economy Jamayan access 20 billion, which could have been used for something else, has been happening. You know, about 92 to 95% of people have all gotten their resources. Now, Adia Mikaisa, former IMF managing director, catcher me. say, hey, we are financing this one, and the papa was there, and they also mine. And the Sebe, you know, Sepa, I see a bit me a call, Yamia Case, Yayeni, Sasia. Into Niakan also, you ever send you a bit me a so Nayako.
So, question I may be so, Messan be so beautiful.
Yeah, sure.
Into Yentry would be aso.
Now,
also, Yentry would be aso.
Say, a friend, Ghana, ye Christopher. Now, sometimes we share for a corner, Nipa, any organizations, you won't seek a koya. Now, because I say, into one bisa questions, Kakra, and son, and would they corner, will be see Obama 100% return, and home kick home. I am person that they were registered formally by the government. But government, you be you on your way. And normal 1 year or central bank, no dear. Send them fata.
Yentry will be aso. Nobody's going to be punished for this.
I did come. So why wouldn't him say I did age go adieso? And me sure say one everybody.
One big issue also, Sika and now count my Shebedrum say, yeah, they told you an microphone. Abeye Dede Bibre, 54.3 million cedis. They be quite computing in 9 million dollars for feeding for 3 weeks. How do we justify that?
How do we justify that?
So, Tie Nyankophobia said 3 weeks. Nipahi, Scanify, wine, Chechimo.
You. At the 1.8 million, in effect, were fed, and about 470,000, your friends saying, dry food packages through the FBOs. Into Juana Sicano Koya. Into me, sure say a day and such as say, you di Sicana na dear Bain. You know, I bring a buy more dear, at least from Minister of Finance dear. Juma ya no, and yes, say a buy Sicana who be a episode. Enti enye bibia mia me worry say sabi anko yi na anko fafa akon sese eko ejuma ye na nipa timi at least nya aduane di ye no at least we are proud of that. But you know, we are constantly examining and auditing. To be near, I'm sure there will be a report on that. But at the, you know, come and we do need to, and if you look at since you're buying now, I say the number of governance issues that we have promoted are quite unparalleled. The reports that we have sent to Parliament, and then the amount of resources we've given to Yoko and Shraj and Special Prosecutor, etc. So we ourselves are very keen about this. Auditor General Assembly, Miana Medeko, on Mumaying. When so if there are issues, I will look into it and see.
It looks as if Nipa Bibri in Common Mobile say we need a little more transparency than we're getting, especially with the COVID period. So, Osha projections are the fee afinasi. And in your COVID abe Sikabe saying now if you say Yashri, how you memoir?
First of all, say you start now you say the 4.7% budget deficit. And I feel dear Sania normal year na say Abambia war a day into year 11.4 percent budget deficit.
From 4.7 projected.
From 4.7 to 11.4. When you say in GDP, so yeah, we're 400 billion. Into right there, no, you are seeing close to over 40 billion gap that we are going to try to raise to fill. And I think we've done quite a bit of it. Into the real gap that we now have to find, maybe closer to 5 or 6 billion CDs. I just said, it's a CFF. Na yadeka ho sene be ya afeno beko ye.
Yenhwe ekwokito omrashebedwem NDC. Oya won hihye no wode wonsem no tudwawie no mo so ene centralfo bedi nkomo. Ne dikan mo se we di eja. Another manifesto promise and a more my some of the issues National Democratic Congress raise ora to forcing our mumrashe bejuni wo edwuma kwenya ne siam or say are buying spent 11.1 billion on COVID expenditures without giving us a breakdown into 11.1 billion cedis NDC at the two jaw machebedrum, but manfa breakdown biamba manche say bia we could say we could say on patch say yeshesika waba machebedrum sell baba bobosia. By the end of this year now your public debt and asika my money na adenum and in about 280 billion cedis. First of all, how do you respond to say Nyamu beye or Mrashebedwem no a campaign and away. And some of the two free water, free electricity, free this, free that. A campaign now here towards the elections. And which Sika must say our COVID hono. Won't mean try importing a breakdown say net here. So for that need kind of
you that's it. Honorable Atta forcing the say be what try and konya no with danti ayana onim ne oka na. I think the difference that we have it's the and yes a campaign and normal area. I mean Muamu who said by 2019 no normal settled inflation was 7.9%, 4.7 a day. You can say eba neade. And a COVID buy. Anyway, just a nipper bread any a day baby campaign. No who send a nipper here a day and so and electricity. I won't be so no any consequence. It's a way your campaign idea and I say idea anything here as citizens of this land. And the data all can also know. It's a combined stock, of data that we have. Now, idea sabi sanya me can say me starting me company no crampo. A car and Yakobo and Yadia. In the same way, Sika Yadia borrowed money home. Then Yadia. In general, Utie a litany of a normal year with regard to the senior high school, ne planting for food, and a school feeding near there. And your baby will be a disicano. A normal feed there when you say. Ghanaians na there's a sense of pride as to where we are going and what we have held. I think in terms of the debt issue, we will be able to pay it because of productivity. And into here, into no dear and you be with regards to your friends and COVID, and I don't think we should really, play politics with it. Sebi, we've been here 3.5 years. I am managing economy in a way that really has been appreciated by most people. In the same way in which these COVID expenditures. Now, we share at the Kwame with the media and I mean, Germany, no, not you know, what do 101, 120% of their whatever, because the impact, no, and yes, a health, no, but it goes to the economy of the health, no, there you can, you know, characterize it and say, way. Now, the crunching effect on the economy and production and people not having to work, no, are those interventions that become necessary to keep the revival of the economy going. And it's not, you know, as one of our people said, no, you are dealing with a situation of unknown unknowns, and now at best known unknowns. And yet, Sabi, Falcon, autonomous hono, and situation the situation we are dealing now is unprecedented, you know, in global affairs. And you know, as I say, Bibia, and yes, sorry, I know a cocasa. Near Jim who said, hey, I didn't come to a conyum and can then cry with me. Now, say, within this short span, yet me day 20 billion about room ha, yet me support it to go on. Me believe we say, if we further strengthen people's skills, we'll be able to pay for it. It's not the old response to things I can. Na ye bibin so a ye kwa ne akwakoda e adwendwen any late nights and ye deba ne ye adwuman and I mean I feel there's a campaign period into nya bibi na betimi obetimi aka onso be can be, but really the average person who to me how we have approached this whole governance issue was, what does the ordinary person need? And are we being able to satisfy that? It is to me, it's all to be good. And to your Canada, may invite me to my office near Bohunkomo, but it's not normal times.
It's not normal times. Into any normal times, his interventions are how sustainable is it? You beat me a crack and say a coprim dabbing.
Near me kind of a chair, I'm a World Bank assuming development committee, and I'm cast a dear no, and yeah, the partnership will be an echo in Yantremwe. In TBBI, no, we should think through 3 years. And Nuntina, a dear Mampain and Akufuado, a catchers, Minister of Finance. Mumfa program member for the 3 years. Send a bay betting your swimming. Into your corner na Kwame 100 billion project ye dear bano. Send a bay yenso ye bayena of digitalization in the country no. Na GRA etimia sumiye na ye 30 billion ba. Na juma ye with foreign partners near the private sector no so ya so near the 70 billion number. Inti no there is a commitment and a senior Omampani a chair COVID the pandemic period we are expecting say and also about Tampa program yedi bay 100 billion and also a chair now with the same efficiency and compassion, competence and courage, you know, and also yetinya inti ejuma dayonim. But quite exciting as to say semiaba na seminti ye leverage ya hon sene be ya o man be tintim forever.
And come on here boy maybe a trema ye din come na nra meti o mra shebedwem no ase won komo nyina fa infrastructure projects anane ma mu ye nyina no value for money. Say adia ye no sika ye di hjem na ya adia ye nya de pawom. Then it just says he see as finance minister no oh yes adia ni bi 100 and na me say 88 district hospitals say 111 akwan your roads no me say minim say covid na mana balance out kakra, but 101 district hospitals year of roads niama ye nyina. How do we ensure our value for money and not debia okan?
I did this a rules no say no outside of the ministry no many road minister set up an oversight value for money group of independent engineers and people. Into no so yetimisha ni ye into that one no is going on. But I think it's the same principle SSE use going forward. And hopefully to say district hospitals are here, but be, you know, I say Ghanaian contrast and Kwa Nesi. So there are different gradations. In Tibia, Ubunya Baye 20 or so odd super dear contractors. Then all the other contractors and also I ensure say at least there will be supervision on that. Because I think it's going to be a landmark construction event. Now it means so many a year. That is what is really going to lead to a whole revolution in housing. And also you have you know a group of that nature, no, one so more as a senior or super contractors. Now you survey unisa grade, no, so one thing here so it trickles down and then you build up, you know, right from the local to the top.
As 111 no you move it me a share boss Ghanaian contractors on Kwa and Ebeye.
And no dear, yeah, declare as a president aka. Enti sikano chemu you know equipment no be free abrochira bana there say no the one there. Enti say na usually no sometimes we could loans free different countries a tied loan not just one contractors necessary. Enti you say the construction there you be raise sikano wa ha. Enti already no yeah the 600 million cedis at Tonchen.
600 million cedis.
You enti just or the abeno says here it was sika you between starting, you know, between the end of the year and the maybe 600 to 1.2 billion if they move aggressively. And we are ready to go.
How sure we say we no nye sebe and komobi ebe me trima de say you 600 million dahwa ye bebo aben ye bebo ne daben na you be fiasie na yem say sike bi dahwa edi adwuma.
At least last report I mean you know I think about maybe 60 to 80 districts have already brought their 15 acres of allocated land. Into coordinator no topography, no, because the easier, the flatter the land is, no, the less the cost. But be that as it may, no, it will be $15 million.
Each one is $15 million.
Including construction and equipment. I think, I mean, the president himself, and really the technical people no and SSA one can on started, but certainly they have to start.
Then it just sa contractors here nanye emedru baby na onim se na yema mu hatie yanko kan say MPP contractors in kwa nyai. How do we ensure that?
I mean, what Kwame, the MPP contractors say at the MBA Metia Bayer Dang 5 billion of arrears. That's only one NDC contractors who bet me a casa. It's a new BBA. Yes, and I said, who bet me a year Jume ye na super contractors no a year cano. Once so bet me a wedgeman or share. One war less qualifications we'll be fine. I mean we have to after a point, you know, sort of get over the cynicism and know that, you know, we are building a country where qualifications and meritocracy count for something, and we'll do it. And yes sir, BBA said 2 million BNT. If I'm the mommy MPP contractor, we are talking about 1.5 to 1.7 billion. It's a so be a near year, Jumay.
15 million per district hospital. Can is in say? Is this the best price you bet me for it?
Who be a 40 million near Dinina Kekaho. And there's lots of savings there, and the president in a nice form. And go beyond 15 and to go and make it happen. Into Anuntina, it me yes, Yema local contractors in C. Na the equipment also, Abia, a better leasing with management support in Yade. And we reconstructed it to make sure within the envelope, everything but certainly is at least 40% less than the typical that we have seen.
At least 40% less. Minister, value for money, crowd from Ghana.
Hey, I asamu na mia mitia na ferry kakra say your friends saying there were a lot of problems with Kokrokoo board. And these international reputable investigators say one film and senior minister was responsible for that. Nadiana mia mentiasu papa because Juma Ben na SSA 1 year. I want to share evidence and also SSA court. And the Auditor General so mono and senior Mr. Cancer send evidence in the Tiano and you be beer. It will be ye report na by antipacho opa bra office na befum na huni apesoye na die I won't take a crap because really Juma international company it was to look at value for money for a number of things that had happened at Kokrokoo board. I mean my Auditor General Jumei department Jumei one can say about 6 billion or so could not be validated. So now there were plenty of people to be surcharged on a local level. I just say mostly would have been past governments people. Then the Kokrokoo board in Kwadia Yekakoshimun after a top line at the issue of concern. And then also what was worrisome, it also surcharged a number of civil servants in addition to that. And with that, you create a certain unnecessary fear as to how they do their work. I don't know. I'm sure it will be resolved. One call court and the judge, I guess, was quite clear. Say one concrete report on say Jumano, Jumana. I mean, I don't come into me normal. Sometimes I'm professional worker. As I say, yet me sort of a bit of mutual respect. And discuss things before we escalate it. Because normally, maybe my Juma can na me deba the abontina and can mean your time in your Juma. Into no reward, which mean in partnership. No more home como, no more resolve, no more knock forward. Into I hope, sir, the Betty and Huase na go forward.
Yabeti Hasenia Koye ni menko back to Mrashe bedroom. Okwe J to me Ediabo Bosia 11.8 billion according to Kukitwa Ewo Mrashe bedroom. And so on patches say expenditure de by 5.8 billion. Sanity.
Also there we can be also there.
Kukitwa say oba say obeji to me Ediakobo Bosia 11.8 billion as your supplementary budget. Nemum expenditure de by 5.8. Now you are massaging figures and doing what they call clever accounting. Now projected fiscal deficit should be 15.6, not 11.6. Sanity.
And can say baby for more and then all can
almost say also the open 11.8. But and she share the buy, and she share 5.8 into 6 no. Patches say yentiasia.
Oh, that's something.
And now fiscal deficit projection, so I was saying 15.6, not 11.6 now the buy.
Because I mean Come here, you know, sometimes with here, I am because I am Minister of Finance there, and your politics near you. Then when a Juma Yababe crampo, me say one po, one tears yet. So one giant Casa, Yetimia Juma, Yetimia ye. In your Canada, dear, the Obia Betimia for a calculator. Now we do. Me sure some make crampo come opposition. I'm waiting to find it where I show say a 20% deficit and not 11.4. But you know, in 2012, Rebecca said now without any COVID, no, won't do 11.5%. And I sabi asem kesiye ne abedu yetimi manager adu 11.4. Inti yebehwe say end of year there. Yes, onyima we are bepwe. Inti yebehwe, but 11.4 no. We are comfortable with it. Amount of money I spend, and also we are comfortable with it. But it's not really time for that type of politics when lives are at stake. You know, into one should be before our Becca and Yankoyani.
Unauthorized, last year, I know they didn't come on. I sent back one team. Election year budgetary overrun. Say a dear mum pese a bebanasa. Inti moye mra. A pegging at 5%. And that is say.
Look, I'm not away there. When I can say, I will be sumami. Say, a dear abbey war, I'm an anuya, abbey come with dear. They are impossible. Then I because a Germany crampa 1 year deficit crampa case away dear. You know, you nipa no hias in deficit no. Into you, for 4.7 na you nim say you bet me aye no. And na 11.4 abeka because we share at the GDP growth for your can year. Na 6.8%.
Yeah.
And now for the ever 0.9. Into come if pass o fie na service care so the share uma na said the nyina afre no masisa. And that is what has led to that. But Yempo, we should be Africa near there. We are not doing badly at all with regards to that level of deficit. Until we have to suspend the FRA, the Fiscal Responsibility Act, over the next, you know, maybe 3 years to be able to gradually come back to it. Because you 1%, you know, would jai. A revitalization and recovery. And yes, you know, Omanwa Befre. We need to do things differently. And to we are here, I think because I'm Brofono, we spend about $11 trillion to save their economies and to get businesses back. And I think we are quite moderate in where we are and where we are going. But what we are here will be adequate. And until President Kasa Munja program here just about Tampa Ghana Cares 100 billion program and Senior Bayer immediately people can begin to have hope and look at areas in which they can participate in the Discussion so bar now, you know, so we are back on keel again.
And it will take us 3 years to bounce back?
I think it's 3 years, but my expectation is a 3.5 year plan. Half this year and then 3 years going forward. But really, I have an inner confidence by the end of year 2, we really would have recovered considerably.
Not just any better, sir.
What's it?
Any better, sir.
Any better. Then so when who send a mechano, we Juma. Now we'll make sure say widows, women and children are taken care of. And we'll continue with these programs of senior high school, LEAP, and school feeding, etc. To build the future. And we are sure some blessings will be here and also about that.
Mr. Ofori-Atta, you share a year. I say 3 years to recover, half year this year, near dear. I didn't know Kuran Shesano. I say, why would you to say, I say, and yet better, sir. Is it that was some magic wand to be Anna BB? What gives you so much hope and motivation? Diana, we in Tia, mouse, and Granchino.
I mean, Kwame, at the Fakwaya Bedui 2017 to now, Noah. Wow, Osha, what was Onyamensa womb. Enti to say since you buy chess you been ya reas ne hon keka ho IMF program bi still since 2017 you spent about 900 million cedis on teacher trainees and nurses trainee. Just NDC for can say it can never happen. You know, in addition to that and also feeding of children every day, no. It used to be about 1.7 million children. You do almost 3 million. You feed the one every day, and also your team here. Now, we share your friends and the free education the same year. One can say into me year. After the 1.2 million senior high school and TV students, and also by 3 billion. We can say na sika from him. Enti now she napko I de buy na students TFA for about 3-4 years. I de buy once 1 year juma about 1.8 million. Enti Osha is you can't give up. And when you don't and you keep thinking and you care deeply about the people as a government that cares, things come up, because once you can get people to work, then you have innovation, you have productivity, and you get more and different ideas. Into Nunti, near 3 years, shows us you continue, you bet me. And that is my hope. But my hope is also really a deep belief in the capacity of the Ghanaian if he is supported. And that's what we intend to do.
A deep belief in the capacity of the Ghanaian if it's supported. One area we've talked about in the past, I want to come up with again, and Sana Yastate, Asori Sune, and Kofusika can fund managers near there, meaning say, oh, share Bobby near there, maybe a drum. Minister to say,
yeah, you go so. At the, I think last week at the receiver, no. Because a new 1.5 billion ya de bemano senior beya MFIs ne adi nyina no ombesum na once one year on sika including DKM and salaries na dia na pesos so tia intia no is settled adi Security and Exchange Commission for fund managers a lot of analysis is going on. First one by say 9 billion, and then it came to 6. After they about 3.1, and it been also the court. And that has kind of frozen. But we intend to solve it. I mean, we have moved slowly from the banks through the SDIs, through MFIs, etc., and else. And I think we are now coming to the crunch with the SEC fund managers. And we'll find a solution to that one too. Certainly, before year end, we'll come up with an agreed plan for all of them.
But Nipani Bebre, so I am impatient. It's only say Omufisa Chedodo. And I remember the last conversation we had. What share Bobeka said December be start teach kakra mitchawe kakra.
Which was and I mostly microfinance, any savings and loans, any deposit institutions, as you can see, asset managers, and aka SSN so now sometimes they are very difficult because asset managers they were not supposed to guarantee any returns, and and there's quite a bit of complexity that we are working through. But the validation process is going on by the SEC, and once that is done, we'll find our way clear. But some of them have also taken us to court, which puts a spanner in the wheel quite a bit. But like all things, in the end, we get it done, and we will get it done.
Peace FM.
Ghana for ATO as their finance minister. Enra Krata de Kotu Brashebedrim no. Send only a abridged version, and only the full budget, Anna.
There be me can speech,
speech that for budget.
And then I buy the full budget.
Or more calculations, the mathematics, in Kuntabono. Emrebe no menya full budget na Ashimubi.
Oh, I think it's all been done and printed, though, and certainly they are available in the Ministry of Finance website and Sabetimiaka. But I think the exciting part of Niaye and say Yaria be actually say America UK really now how we have kept our people in a much safer situation than they have. And then the president's vision of look, don't be afraid of today to move forward, and therefore the 100 billion, very audacious program for us to do. I think that shows not only being able to take care of everyone, especially the ordinary people, but to also give a vision for the future that we are undaunted, and a pandemic should be used in a much more positive way than to fold up our arms for it to conquer us. That type of energy is what Ghanaians need, that we are bringing to bear. I think we're going to have a very exciting period going forward. And in the end, the water for everyone, the lifeline, electricity, to support that, and to look at the CAPBAS program, increase it by 150 million, and so that the Creative Arts, Media, and Conference of Independent Universities, and so on, BB. First time introduction of the unemployment insurance scheme, which is really good. And then the whole retraining, working with faith-based organizations and also labor, to give people an opportunity to move on. And then, of course, in an online digital economy, reduction of the CST, which impacts everyone. And finally, of course, is a 2 billion guarantee facility, which will be lower interest for all to enjoy, so that companies can begin looking into the future and to retain their workers.
Two quick ones. Yakubu says, my money was fully paid by the receiver and I'm very happy. Yakubu, lucky you. I wish others would say same. But Obisi Odinidia
Yakubu is part of 93%, so in all things, Asemka Krabebem, but that's part of the beauty of what we
or say, my name is Kwame Opoku from Timber Market in Accra. Ask Ken Ofori-Atta whether road contractors have been paid. Simple. A certain contractor owes me. Anytime I call him for my money, he says he hasn't been paid. Some of his certificates dates back from 2017. Let the minister clear it for me so I know what to do. Kwame Opoku, Timber Market, Accra.
Sika Yetiama at the roads this year. There's no reason why anybody should not have gotten some money in terms of roads. And they are not there. And certainly there are certain IPCs or certificates, as they call them. But I won't be so, because Nipa de no mashame pa from ministries to ministry, because finance in TI.
Because my last question by baby sound no. Say Bibiania yesun TI na scan way. Honestly, I was going to ask you that as my very final question.
Very good.
Say Sikano, you be say na finance phone TI na finance phone TI and na can it scan so. And can person temperature. We are no say yes. nti bibia ye
Ken Ofori-Atta obi be catch them say no only obi bon komo and say okotena kan anima waka so the sika na hyenebo ento ka na wayi ba kwama na mezi na me abomisi anipa wana me NHI at the Director General no kasa say you know your sika na I think we are up to date about March enti afi de me ba be ye na ya post ade on the website. Send a bay only for catch or say Sikanum by and to make a say once on your website just a once so the hospitals and service providers they have paid. Send a bay there'll be a lot more transparency. Because of video bika no I can say oh you with the government and so we should and I think that type of transparency, you know, and the whole digitalization of the economy, you know, will begin a sense of truth and integrity in the system.
And we can find it on your website.
That's what we initiate because say at the refrain eya doson dodo.
Is this canoe?
And Sikano.
I mean, they say what to say is this canoe.
Actually.
Is this canoe? As a chisel kakra. This canoe. Mr. Minister, I don't know, sir.
Na fa kwame ami asempa fa kwa ya bedui since 2017 to now. I guess it required a certain amount of how do you call rectitude to hold on to make sure say sika investment in a year and get into a culture of a lot more integrity and delivering on what we say for us as a nation. Inti nuna yebe continue, but clearly I think the 3 years had really illustrated a huge concern that we are all Ghanaians and the ordinary person should have the social mobility to be like all of us, because when you look at where we all came from, it is right from where those people are. And I think that's a primary concern of the government. How do you bring sort of reform, relief and revitalization as key elements of the future, bring back the pride and our capacity to show who we are as a black star of Africa. And I think we are well on the road to that. But for the COVID, the COVID itself, is a platform which has forced us to start the Ghana Beyond Aid program of 100 billion thing. So I think we should all look to excitement about it. The president will launch it, in a month or so, and we'll all see how we can position ourselves for the future.
Na mibisa se bibi wo hobi a de betwa to we finance minister Oman Fotiel. In spite of the difficulty in the it's saying, is there anything you'd like to say finally?
I think, Kwame, one of the key issues is really to count our blessings and to be very clear that what the locals have eaten will be restored. But I think the other thing for us to guard against is negativity and the naysayers as to what we can achieve as a people. For me, therefore, a keen interest in the youth and finding jobs and skills for them is going to be an area of focus. And when I look at what we did ourselves as young people in 1990, it's just very clear to me that a lot can be done. I think the digitalization of our economy is going to be key to free people to do their businesses, to get educated in a much more effective way. Just to bring an era of wrapping the flag around us a lot more, being excited about the future and knowing that everybody has a role to play. So that's my excitement, and my prayer is that this nation It's really God's people, and His presence keep being with us as we journey on. Asida pa. My SSA yina ya dono na yesum na yina ya jumaidi.
Pacho oda ya asosiasi beda aseso enya ho adaje.
Amen.
Na ya so se pacho chiso na ya gomu kakramai. Ko yesi sabi achim fo nka munye carpenter for ya before na ya carpenter for any nim chiso yusu. Ba me say waje chiso na free ye ho na odi yusu.
Say ya na lawyers. Na pesa semuba.
Ofori-Atta yeda say. Yeda say. Ken Ofori-Atta aye Finance Minister, Republic of Ghana. And anope moten in kasi and nutrition common ya bedana sibebre se unya ye ho adaje me gidi questions bi wo ho ambe pesi bebi se nyani nyina eni be nya ho adaje ebisa na mo ye betimi no ye bisa emrepa mu so sanya adaje bi mu a me sure se oba ye bebisa. Time check 10:30. We're wrapping up this morning's edition as always. The next news broadcast is at 12. Kofi Kumbelson is next on your radio. Next week, Nane Alkeso will be here. Mekoda kono monkwan kakra. Nyame aduma mi dina watwi ameba. Meya nyame timi memre no so ana meko. As we roll over into the weekend, I wish you well. Remember to keep your dreams and hopes alive is all you have. And I'm sure you know that I have a prayer for you in the book of Numbers in the Bible. Numbers 6:24-26 would always be my prayer for you, my very cherished listener. It says very simply, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. That's my prayer for you. Mirikwe minyanumbi adinkrebia brem. Wose me fa shedding ma opinion odro kwa esi abusuya wo bosomase. Vanessa ninuanom wo America se me fa sa shedding. Emere opinion odro kwa esi abusuya wo bosomase wose mon shedding.